See, ESG framework, we normally call as environmental social governance framework, is a framework for evaluating a company's sustainability and ethical practices across three critical areas, maybe social environment impact, environmental impact, social responsibility, and corporate governance. Actually,
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast series by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm Taneol, and today we are joined by a true powerhouse in the world of finance, Mr. V P Raguram. With over 25 years of unmatched expertise in corporate finance, strategic management, and financial governance, Mr. Raguram has spearheaded transformative projects from driving multi-million dollar IPOs to revolutionizing financial operations across industries like technology, banking, and infrastructure. His visionary leadership has made him a driving force behind some of the most successful mergers, acquisitions, and financial turnarounds. Sir, we are thrilled to have you with us today. Your wealth of experience is truly inspiring, and we can't wait to hear your insights.
very good afternoon, and thank you for all your kind words. Special thanks for providing an opportunity to be featured on FaceTime with Leaders. It's my great privilege to meet up with you all too, actually.
The privilege is all ours, sir. Sir, with over 25 years of experience in corporate finance and governance, you have not only witnessed but also actively shaped the evolution of this field. Can you briefly summarize your professional qualifications and how you completed all those qualifications well before you attained 26 years of age?
The passion for continuous learning and proactive approach, coupled with effective time management policies, were the key actually. I am a chartered accountant, CA, cost accountant, ICWA, and a company secretary by qualification actually. And I started doing my ICWA when I was in second BCom. After BCom, I started my CA. After successful completion of ICWA, I started with CS. So at any given point in time, I was concurrently doing two courses actually. This helped me save considerable amount of time. Uh, there were many subject-related synergies too, and in all the three professional courses, which was beneficial for me actually.
So I noticed in your profile that you talk about your journey through a learning phase and then into an execution phase. That really caught my attention because it sounds like a powerhouse progression. Can you take us through this journey? What were some of the key lessons you learned during the learning phase and how did you translate those insights into action in the execution phase?
See, regarding my learning phase, Steel Authority of India Limited, SAIL, UB Limited, and Tapa Chemtex is a JV with chemical giant of USA, and are the three prominent organizations with profound levels of professionalism and very high level of corporate culture. I took interest and time in understanding its diverse corporate structures too. I learned a lot from each of the organizations during my first 5 years, and more specifically, like planning, delegation, compliance, and time based deliverables too. Their respective mentorship programs, coupled with hands on experience during the learning phase, was very integral to my growth actually. Regarding my execution phase, actually, execution refers to turning theory and learnings into practice, thereby deriving key results. Actually, the learnings which I spoke just now were applied at corporates like TAIB, Genesis, iDeCK, and each of the corporates I have worked for. Actually.
Okay, lovely. So, reflecting on your impressive journey with the TAIB Bank Group in Bahrain over 7 years, I'd love to dive deeper into that transformative chapter of your career. Like, can you share some of the standout achievements that shaped your role there, the growth you experienced both professionally and personally, and the challenges that tested and perhaps even redefined you along the way?
See, TAIB Bank, an MNC, was a Bahrain-based listed company having TAIB Capital Corporation India as its India subsidiary. Regarding acquisition at TAIB, in TAIB Capital Corporation Limited, we had to get a due diligence completed by E&Y. So that's nothing but we call as, in the past, we used to call as SR Bartleby and Associates. I quickly did so and then completed the acquisition of Synergy Stock Broking. We renamed the company subsequently as TAIB Securities India and moved the company from Chennai to Bombay too, actually.
Okay.
Regarding capital infusion at TAIB, we had to source capital for the said acquisition, as well as for working capital of two companies in India, that is TAIB Capital India and TAIB Securities India, for its future growth, actually. We had to get FIPB, Foreign Investment Promotion Board approvals and complete the preferential share capital issue to TAIB Bank. New business verticals at TAIB, we had to grow the company on the business front, actually. So hence we started underwriting services and portfolio management services, PMS we call actually, as a separate verticals. In short, TAIB Capital Corporation grew in terms of capital, employees, geography, and reach to its customers actually. So the significant contribution is, as I said earlier, completing the acquisition and raising capital through preferential share route actually.
Your 6 years with iDeCK supporting critical infrastructure development as part of a technical consultancy and development team must have been a remarkable journey. Could you share with us some of the key achievements you're most proud of during your time there, and beyond that, what were some of the toughest challenges you encountered along the way?
See, iDeCK was a JV company with IDFC, Government of Karnataka, and HDFC, owning 49.5%, 49%, and 1.5% stake, respectively. Day-to-day management was taken care of by IDFC, actually. Post joining, I had to get the statutory audit completed quickly, and the AR, accounts receivables, was a very serious issue raised by Deloitte, the statutory auditors, actually. So immediately after the audit, I started working seriously on weekly AR meetings, actually. The AR meetings would have the vertical head and their team, the CEO of the company, and myself leading the meetings, actually. I had conducted over 100 meetings and finally got all the AR issues resolved, except for a few which the management itself felt there were some issues on invoicing which required some mutual settlement with the clients, actually. The total amount collected by way of AR meetings directly managed by me was around rupees 81 crores. The total amount due to the AR meetings collected over a period of 6 years amounted to a staggering 184 crores. I also implemented the in-AS, we call as IFRS implementation with Pricewaterhouse and Company being the statutory auditors within a very short period of time, actually. With due humbleness, it's very important to note that during my stay of 6 years with iDeCK, I had transformed iDeCK Finance as one of the best departments which can be benchmarked against any best corporates in India or abroad, bearing the size of iDeCK being a small company, actually.
Oh, that is a pretty big achievement. Sir, you've held pivotal leadership roles from being a whole-time director at TAIB Securities and manager at TAIB Capital to serving as a director for innovative ventures like Genesis Microchip and Smart Yantra. These roles reflect a wealth of diverse experience and contributions. Could you walk us through the key impacts you made in these positions, perhaps focusing on the strategies or initiatives that defined your leadership?
Yeah. A good question. I was designated as the manager under the Companies Act in TAIB Capital India while being the CFO and the India head, actually. Consequent to my achievements to TAIB Group, I was appointed as director of TAIB Securities India. Since it was an unlisted company, there wasn't any need for board meetings, but we jointly grew the company well in terms of its capital, employee strength, business, geography, and reach, customer reach through corporate management meetings, actually. You know, uh, Subsequently in my journey, I became the CFO of Genesis Microchip India. By virtue of the same, I was appointed as a director of the company.
Okay.
Genesis Microchip India was a 100% subsidiary of Genesis Microchip, a Nasdaq listed company based in USA. Since it was an unlisted company in India, there wasn't any need for board meetings. But as a part of senior management and as a director, I have contributed exceptionally well based on the parent company's business needs and the needs of the Indian operations, actually.
That's excellent, sir. Sir, looking ahead, what are some of the key goals or aspirations you have for the next chapter of your life? Whether it's personal growth or future boardroom ambitions, what's driving your vision for the future?
Good question. Uh, in life, I had taken very seriously the education fees of my life, which amounted to, say, 10 years, and my professional journey phase amounting to 30 years. In all, totals to 40 great years, actually. Further, out of my corporate lifespan of 30 years, I have been as a CFO for over 22 years, actually.
Wow.
The level of compliances, it could be board, regulatory, financial, and tax compliances, were all of the highest possible order, best in class. I would like to
Yes.
say best in class. It is important to note that not a single entity during my tenure had any problems from regulators, tax authorities, MCA, SEBI, FIPB, etc. This in itself is a very, very significant achievement. This were achieved because of persistence, hard work, passion, commitment, dedication, honesty, sincerity, and highest level of integrity, coupled with effective planning and execution. Actually, hence, based on my education fees and long experience with best MNCs in India and abroad, I'm eager to serve a few quality corporates as its independent director for at least the next 10-15 years. My goal is to significantly help the corporates to achieve their dreams, goals, and destinations, actually. You know,
And it would be a privilege for any corporation to have you.
touch wood, I am very agile, maybe as young as 45 plus or less, and maintain very good health too, actually.
Lovely. So, what role do you think ESG factors play in corporate financial strategies, especially as companies seek long term growth and sustainability?
ESG framework, environmental, social, and governance framework, is a framework for evaluating a company's sustainability and ethical practices across three critical areas, namely environmental impact, social responsibility, and corporate governance. Corporates have significantly aligned their financial strategies with an eye on ESG. ESG factors have become an integral part to financial decision making and is leading to long-term sustainability, mitigation of risk, and creating new growth opportunities. Hence, ESG initiatives is continuing to positively impact financial performance and future growth of corporates now and in future decades too.
It is a big part of the future. Sir, as someone with extensive experience in both corporate governance and financial leadership, how has your experience with Directors Institute been so far? Like, how do you feel the courses and insights shared by the Institute have helped enhance your strategic approach to leadership and governance?
See, Directors Institute is a highly professional oriented organization trying to help prospective directors in the wings, actually, and equally the corporates who are looking for trained high profile directors, actually. My experience with Directors Institute have been very excellent. Appreciate its entire team, its course curriculum, training, methods coupled with latest techniques, actually. Sure, the corporate governance and the ESG courses are going to be of immense help to all the prospective independent directors actually. The directorship program have sharpened my skills and given me additional vigor and visibility among great corporates. In short, very thankful and grateful to the Directors Institute actually.
The pleasure's been all ours, sir, and your insights have been truly invaluable. Thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule to join us today. We're grateful for the wisdom you've shared, and we at Directors Institute wish you continued success for all future endeavors. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. My pleasure interacting. My pleasure. Thank you.
That brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope you enjoyed hearing from Mr. Raguram as much as we did. Stay tuned for more powerful stories and invaluable advice from inspiring leaders in our next episode. Until then, please remember leadership is a journey, not a destination. Keep striving for excellence and make a meaningful impact wherever you go. Thank you so much.